Hello and welcome to the Soul Collect channel, where we are not collecting nearly as much buckets of salt as we should. If any of the salt is being collected, it is my own. This is the first chance I've had to make a video after the World's Tournament in Barcelona. It is Friday the 24th today, so I've been back for a few days. I had to go to London for work, and now I'm back in my residence in the Netherlands, where I can now make this video, and I became the 188th ranked player, or whatever. I came 188th. That was my end result. Not great, not bad. Disappointed though. Disappointed. If you look at some of the players who came under me, it makes me feel a bit better because I don't think they should be under me. But it goes to show that luck is a determining factor of how far you get. I mean, someone like Yuki, she makes her own luck. She's just a fantastic player. But to some extent, if you're a Boltyn player and get matched up with 7 Icelanders, then that's just not good, right? So that can happen. I'll go through my deck list, and then I'll go through the games I played and my overall experience. Basically, it was a good one. A good experience. Great to see people. Great to see the community. Great to be there and like soak in the vibes of the tournament. And I highly recommend, even if you don't have the World's invite, just go to play the calling, go to play the side events, because it's such a good energy, such a good atmosphere. Everyone there is super nice. I got to meet the professor, Josh Lau, Brody Spurlock, and a few people who watch my YouTube channel as well. Spotted me, tapped me on the shoulder, and said, "Hey, thank you for doing that," and that really feels good. So thanks, guys, and it makes doing this now a little bit easier for me. Okay, moving on. Yeah, got to meet some people from the Discord channel, from the Boltyn group, from my YouTube watchers, Art of Josh, JK from Discord, Marcasia from Discord, and a few other people who's I'm not sure if we swap names. If we have, I sincerely apologize. Everyone super lovely, super nice, super supportive. But I do have a bone to pick with Marcasia, because we spoke a lot about playing Boltyn, and we're the Boltyn winners in Europe, and he played Zalia. He did very well though. I think on day one he went like 5-2 or something, 3-1 on CC, and then 2-1 on draft. I don't know how he did on day two. Regardless, he should have been playing Boltyn. Yeah, so very cool atmosphere, very cool event. Go to it next time if you have the opportunity, even if it's just side events. And now, without further ado, I'll get into the deck I played, and then the people I played, and wins and losses, and that type of thing. Let's get to it. Boltyn Cheerios copies, nothing to do with Boltyn Cheerios. I just copied the deck and switched it around a bit. 9 Beaming Bras, love him. Ball of Courage, great card. Courageous Steel Hand. It was either yellow Valiant Thrust or Courageous Steel Hand, and I think Courageous Steel Hand is better. You can't dissuade me from that, I'm afraid, unless you show me videos. Make videos, and I'll watch them. And if you can prove it to me through these videos and not just your words, I will consider changing. Engulfing Light. Yeah, good card. Express Lightning, contentious add-on, but 0 for 4. Yeah, I quite like it. Just for the extra damage, 0 cost. Against aggro decks, you can block out, attack for 4. Against defensive decks, you can stick in an arsenal and wait for a turn with Courage Steel Hand, Beacon of Victory, or Courage token up, or via the Vanguard. So there are ways, more ways to get this going than you imagine. Illuminate, just good. Light the Way, 3 reds, 2 yellows. These yellows were Salvation, Banner of Salvation, but I thought I want more charge cards in there. These work against Dromai, and these work against aggro decks. So overall, I think it's better than the 1 gain from Salvation, because I don't mind charging this as well. Tech Fight Red, standard stuff, Valiant Thrust, just lots of damage. Good. These 9 here are, yeah, I think they're just in every Boltyn deck. Courage, Gallantry, Beacon of Vic, Bolting Blade, Celestial Chasm, Poppers, and they work against defensive decks if you can sculpt your hands well. And then Luminous Ascension, Via the Vanguard, and Spirit of Rhaenyra also must-haves in any Boltyn deck. Oh, I don't know why this is here. I think this was just in there as I was practicing. It's not meant to be there. So everything here is what I played apart from this. This was Banneret of Protection. And it doesn't matter what I put in for the Icelander matchup. I was going to lose those games no matter what. If this was a blue, if this was more Null Rune, anything, there's just no chance I could have won. I do not like Radiant Flow into Icelander. I've always played Halo, and Halo does take up a additional sideboard slot. But Radiant Flow, if you have to play it when there's not a Frostbite, or you have to activate it when there's no Frostbite, when there's no Channel Lake, and even when you activate it, they can respond to, or they can wait for it to resolve and then Waning Moon you, so you don't get the damage reduction against the thing you're using it for, like an Aether Ice Vein. So Radiant Flow against Icelander, I wish I never put this in. This would be the one thing I would change. I would rather have Halo, get rid of the gloves and put in the boots. So you play Halo and boots. Maybe I'll get rid of both Banneret of Protections, put in one more Fate Foreseen, or one more what's it called, Remembrance even, and that would have helped out there. Otherwise, yeah, that's the deck. Too bad I didn't get to play against any Rangers who I wanted to play against. I didn't get to play against any Bravos I wanted to play against. No Azuris. None of the good matchups. I didn't play against a single good matchup. I guess Dash you can consider favorable. But the matchups I really wanted, I didn't get. And those were quite high percentages. I mean, I also didn't play against Ninjas, so I guess that's all right. Yeah, okay, so that's a deck. And now I'll go through the games. So I started the day off with a bye. Whoop whoop, fantastic. I think people signed up for the event, but then didn't want to travel in the end, and didn't sort of cancel the name. So I saw other people at different tables also have buys. There must have been, I think, close to 20, 30, 40 people that didn't show up. So the first round, a lot of people had some free wins, myself included. Round 2, I got paired up against an English fellow. Let me see if you can see this. Yeah, you can just see it, but it should. Okay. First match was against Icelander. Absolutely destroyed against Icelander. These games were just not fair. It just felt like I got Channel Laked 2 or 3 times, definitely 2 times, and each Channel Lake I got Aether Ice Vein so they can keep it on for 2.5 turns. I got Blizzard at the right moments. I managed to get off a Spirit of Rhaenyra on turn 1, so I thought, okay, this is going to be pretty good. But from there on out, I suffered Icelander's reds. Good reds, good blues, good distribution of cards. I think it was like I was at 10 life, they were at 24 life, and then I managed to bring it down to, I was at 5 life, they were at 8 life. I don't know how, but I think they just let the damage go through because they knew they can kill me at any point from there. So, game loss to Icelander. Next up, I sit next to a Dash player. The thing with Dash is you don't know who you're going to play against. You can play Super Aggro, Turtle, whatever. So I board the same regardless. I keep Tunic in. I put in some D-Reacts. I think I put in That All You Got. I think so, yeah. Ended up being a Turtle Dash. Turtle, Tree Frog, whatever it's called. The ones that just block, and shoot the pistol. And for this game, you have time to set up. I have time to set up, so I managed to set up a few good Valiant turns. I don't play Remembrance, so I had to make each one count. I unfortunately used all of my beacons for either to be charged or something else. I lost one in a Lumina turn. So I didn't have that big ending turn that I would have wanted to plan for, but I still managed to get the win. I almost fatigued the dash because they just had to kept having to block, and had to block with multiple cards because of they have quite a lot of attack actions, and my sword will come in and all that jazz. It ended up very, very dicey. I had 2 cards left in my deck. He had 3. One of his was a non-block in Faendel's Heart. My last 2 cards were That All You Got, yellow defense reaction, and blue Beam Bravado. So luckily the Beam Bravado the yellow allowed me to get the +1 to go again. His block was Faendel's Fighting Spirit. He was on 1 life for like the last 20 minutes of the game, but then he'd block with 2 Faendel's Fighting Spirit, gain 3 life Sigil, Oasis Respite, go up to 4, bring it down to 1, go up to 4. And so it was just this sort of, and I think this turn before last, I got a Be the Vanguard turn, but without an arsenal. So that was a little bit frustrating. So I get 4/4/4. I think that's what it was. 4/4. Yeah. So I had 4 Valiant, 4 Sword, 4 Engulfing Light, and he was at 1 life at this point. So I thought, okay, I have to kill him. This is 12 damage plus bonuses. Somehow he lives. And then I draw that 2-hand card. He draws his 3-hand card. 2-card hand, 3-card hand, and I managed to force, because he got a 2 block, gain 1 life, up to 2, lose 1 life because it was a 2 block, and my attack went to 3, and then he only had that 1 attack action 3 block left. I think it was the last ditch effort or something to block with, and I sneaked the win with 1 damage, 0 cards in deck. He could have just kept shooting me with pistol after that. So that was quite lucky. I would consider myself unlucky that I had to use, well, maybe not unlucky, just not future thinking in having to use my Beacon of Victories at the wrong time. I could have been a bit more patient. I ended up on 8 or 9 life. Direct almost lost me the game because there was an arsenal for so long, and I kept putting on pressure and you couldn't attack. So I had this direct arsenal. I could never get my 5-card Valiant turn. And by the time I did use it, I only had 4 cards or something left in deck. 5 or 6 cards left in deck, whatever it was. Okay, so a win there. I'm 2-1 now, feeling pretty good. Going to my next game, sit opposite another dash. This time the dash starts off, I have the same setup. Tunic, Snapdragons, going for the, because I can race a aggro deck. I cannot defend and win without Tunic against the turtle deck. So I have to have Tunic and I have to have Snapdragon Scalers, no matter what. If I want to stand a chance against both decks, so that's what I do. And it's a Teklo Pounder. And I'm not too fussed about Teklo Pounder decks. And in fact, I know that means they're going to be aggressive in their boosting and whatnot. So I'm not too concerned just yet. And then on turn 1, he goes attack, boost, I block, and then he plays another Teklo Pounder. Or he doesn't even do that, or he just plays Teklo Pounder. So he's got 2 Teklo Pounders in play, which is going to give him 6, 2, 4, 6, 12 points of damage, right? Out of that. For each boost. For the first boost he does each turn. I managed to weather the storm. I think I get in a good Lumina turn on my turn 1, I think. Anyways, I imagine or I just get a take flight turn. So I get him down to like 32 or something like that. His turn, he gets rid of my hand. And we're at 32. And it goes on like this. He's putting on the pressure. I'm sometimes swinging back with something. So it might be when he has a turn off or a bad turn, I keep a beam bravado plus something, whatever it is, attack for 7, threaten courage with Iron Song, get the courage token because he's not going to block. And then I have a good 0 card 5 with Illuminate the next turn. Things like that. So you'd be very efficient. I was very efficient, and you should be very efficient with how you want to block, how much damage you can do, and watching how aggressively they are. Teklo coring, boosting. It's not Teklo core. What is it called? Foundry. Teklo Heart Foundry. Boosting. I just noticed he was going ham. Twin drive. Backup protocol. Twin drive again. He got one. What's it called? We get to shoot your pistol 100 times. He got one of those turns. He boosted 2 the high octanes away. He got 1 max turn. The other one he had to block with because I was putting on the pressure. I don't think just blocking is the right way to go because it just gives him these free turns that he can set up and just absolutely destroy you with. So I kept life totals quite similar throughout the game until it was like the last few turns when he's on 10 life, I was on 3 or 4 life, and he didn't have any cards in deck left to threaten lethal. So I felt like I played that game well. I felt like I played the game before averagely. So these 2 wins felt good. The loss against Icelander, I felt like no matter what I did, I just couldn't win that game through channels, through blizzards, through Aetherized Veins with channel up. It just did not feel good whatsoever. Then we prepare for 3 rounds of draft. I go in, I draft a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful max deck, which I think is a 3-0 deck. This deck it's got everything I need. According to the play group that I didn't test with, I should have tested with, but the results they gave me, this deck was the deck. I was a little bit nervous because I played max once, and I played the draft total 4 times before showing up at Worlds. Lack of, what do they say? Lack of preparation leads to piss poor performance, whatever it is. That's basically what happened here. I drafted a beautiful deck, play against a good Teklo player game 1 who managed to get all his armor, his equipment on in 2 turns. Like, they're all 0 cost instants. And so he's just shooting me with his thing, 3 damage, go again, which is more efficient than what I can do. He has 3 damage, go again, plus a 6 attack. 3 damage, go again, plus a 4, whatever it is. I'm doing the same, but I'm boosting a card. And then I have to have enough resources to crank and bank. So it ends up, I get fatigued. I lose that game. Next up, I play against a Dash player who has 2 or 3 items in his opening hand. So I just deal 7 damage, turn 0, and then it sort of snowballs from there, and I take the win. So I'm looking at, what am I on now? I'm at 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, and then the final day of the game, feeling pretty good because I got another Dash lined up. But this Dash is very aggressive, lots of boom grenades, and I have to force to block out. We get to about, he's on 1 life with 3 or 4 cards left in deck. I'm on 3 life, ready to take this win, end the day in 5-2. He attacks with a 3 attack, no boost, block for 3. Off the top of the deck, penetration, script, boom grenades in play. I get blown up and I lose that game. Super frustrated. I mean, at first I'm like, damn, he's super lucky. But maybe not, because he put that card in his pitch deck. I could have seen him put that card in his pitch deck, but I chose not to study what he was pitching and instead focus on my game. So if I was sort of watching, he's got a penetration script and it hasn't been used, so it's either in his hand or it's in his deck. Why don't I just block a little bit more here? Because the chance of me winning if I block with 2 cards is 100%. What's he going to do? He's going to, because I knew what was in his hand. He protocoled it. So I knew he had a card in his hand that he couldn't play. He had 1 shot left on his pistol, so fine. He shoots with this card, I block for 2, he pistols, but block for 1, I have 1 card left in my hand. I pass turn. And then he's got no more cards left in his deck. And he can't boost, he can't do anything. So, really, really amateurish on my part there. So I think I should have ended the day on 5-2. I was kicking myself for not being able to win that game. there. So end of the day on 4-3, very frustrating, but managed to make day 2. So at least that, right? I got to meet a few players who have seen my videos on YouTube throughout the day. Very, very lovely people, very supportive, very thankful for the videos I'm making, which makes me extremely thankful for them watching it and coming up to me and talk to me about that. Met a few Boltyns. I gave a couple tips on Dromai. And then the next day, the Boltyn came back and he said he won. I don't know if it was my tips. It was just maybe just coincidence. I don't consider myself a Dromai guru by any means. But just some little tweaks here and there can change the course of a game, especially deciding when to go face, when to go dragon, that type of thing. More so than the cards in your deck, I believe. So day 2 didn't end. Day 1 didn't end as I'd liked it to have ended, but I made day 2, so at least there was a shot of making the money, top 64. If I won 6 of my next 7 games, which is not impossible. It's not probable either. Forgetting results. Great day, meeting people, experiencing it. The day before, Thursday night, I got to carry the Dutch flag. When they announced the national champion national champion winners. That was also very cool. Got some nice photos from the Dutch crowd. Dutch guys are very supportive. Dutch guys and girls, I should say, very supportive. Took some photos, took some videos, and I got to watch this after. It was very funny to see that. And then we go into day 2, and I start playing as it's a super weird pod. So I just want to force -IO because that's the deck that I know is the love. So any tiny little signal I see that says -IO, I'm taking it. I think I start with a scrap card, 6-power scrap card that lets you put a counter on a crank item, and that helps either for dash, it helps for Teklo, so I'm happy to take it. Then a few good boost cards because nothing else was coming, and I think I got 3 scripts. So I got the go again script, I got the put it on the bottom of your deck script, and I got the block for an extra 1 script. So those are the 3 items that I got, and it wasn't really telling me dash was good. Then pack 2, I got I think 5 what I call premium items in dissolving shields. The ward one, I really like those. I was passing on the boomer grenades. Boomer grenades are good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just more comfortable playing that defensive style deck, which takes out maxes better than it takes out Teklos. But knowing my luck, I got paired up with one of the only Teklos at the table, and I got destroyed. But then I played 2 maxes, and I managed to take down both of those maxes relatively, I wouldn't say easily, but relatively comfortably. One of them was a very good player who's like top 50 elo in constructed, and he needed to win a few of his constructed games. His limited games, I don't think he needed to win. His constructed games, he needed to win after his 3 games were up. I think his name was Austin. I managed to beat him, and then he was a dash player, and then I played another dash mirror who played the more aggressive bomb deck, which I thought was also fine because my deck is built to withstand aggressive attacks, and then I just get value out of the gun, and some big attacks. I managed to take that win as well against a fellow dash player. And then we move into round 5 of CC, and I get paired against a Dromai player, and I'm thinking, okay, this is not bad, but it's not good either. Lovely French guy who said, hey, we just talked to each other, where are you from? France. And I said, where are you from? From Holland. Oh, okay. And a lot of people connect the dots. Okay, you're from Holland, you play Boltyn, that probably means there's not many Boltyn players around, so yeah, you're the Dutch guy, right? The Dutch champion. I said, yeah, I'm Dutch champion, and I eat Dromas for breakfast. I didn't say that. I said, yeah, that's me. And he said, yeah, I just watched one of your videos on the train on the way here. And I said, oh no, you know my secrets. And unfortunately, he did. Well, no, he just played 3 tombs in 5 turns or something. So turn 1, he played a tomb. Turn 2 or 3, he played a tomb. And turn 5 or 6, he played a tomb. I was, yeah, I was not happy about that. I got to play 1 Lumina and 1 V. This game was still winnable because after his 2 tomes, I say tombs, it should be tomes. After his 2 tomes, we were sitting at around, he's at 15 life, I was at 9 life, something like this. My turn. I bring him down to, no, sorry. He's at 15 life, I was at 24 life. Then he is a tome turn, brings you down to 10. I think this might be the 3rd tome. I'm not sure at this point. And he's got a solid board of dragons and whatever. So then I attack. I bring him down to 9 or 7 or something. I get good valiant turn, sword valiant. Sorry, take flight, sword valiant. Bring him down to 9 through blocks. Then he goes. No, that's a lie. So that's the turn before the last. So he puts me down to 1. I do that to him. But before that, I have a beacon turn of a View the Vanguard, and I opt to grab a engulfing light to kill his Mary guy because I get +1 on my thing. What I should have done there, and this is why I kicked myself, and I think I could have not won, but I would have stayed in the game for longer. I should have got a Lumina Ascension and attack for 4 twice, because regardless, the damage would have been the same. I would have burnt 1 Lumina, but the game was going so quickly that I don't think I would have got through that anyways. But I was in my head, I'm thinking, I'm saving this for when it really matters. And I'll take an engulfing light because the damage is the same, so why should I take a Lumina? I should take a Lumina because of the life gain. If I'd gain 1 life off of that, and then maybe 1 life off the next attack, otherwise he'd block 2 cards, I wouldn't have died to the eventual arcane damage that I died to. So it got down to, he was on 7 or 5, whatever it was. I was on 2. And I was thinking, okay, I need to draw a popper. I drew a popper. I drew a Bolt of Courage. I drew a Valiant Thrust. I drew something, doesn't matter what it was. In my arsenal, I had a Courageous Steel Hand. My Tunic was on 1. So I knew if I could pop his dragon attack on the first turn, because he only had 1 card in hand after my big attack, then I could, and it was as will I, take 1 damage, I pop it, and then I attack back with Bolt of Courage, Courageous Steel Handed, draw a card, sword, Valiant Thrust, play whatever was in my hand if I was able to play it, and hopefully kill him on that turn, on that crackback. But the card that he drew, or the card that was left in his hand, was a Burn Them All. So me being on 2 life, plays Burn Them All, attacks as will I, I'm dead. So that was very frustrating. Even through 3 tomes, he played 3 2 Chrome Eyes, 2 Maragais, 3, I don't know what it's called, Kyloris, 3 Kyloris, man. 3 Kyloris. I popped 1, had to block my armor for another one, killed it. Then the next one I lost my headpiece and whatever to block it as well. It was tough. And I still managed to almost come away with a win there. So disheartened because it's a game a matchup that I feel like I should win more often than not. But if he's gonna 3-tome me, 2-tome, and I'm not gonna get I didn't get a single good Vanguard turn. I got a Vanguard turn with 1 card in hand and 1 card in arsenal. That was my best Vanguard turn. Or maybe I did 2 Vanguard turns, both of them similar like that because of Kylori and Tomb of Tome. Yeah. So, anyways, we could argue that the pressure he put on me meant that I couldn't get a single good View the Vanguard turn. But on the other hand, I've never been so on the back foot against a Dromite to not be able to have a 4 or 5 card Vanguard hand, or very rarely has that been the case. I managed to get 1 Beacon turn, which I should have got Lumina. I got 1 proper Lumina turn, which he blocked out. Yeah, that was painful. That was painful. So now I'm 5'4". Am I 5'4"? I'm 6'5". 6'5". I mean, at this point, I'm 6'5". A little bit disheartened. But if I lose, if I keep going, I can still potentially get that money finish, 1,500 US. Then I play against another Icelander. I match up against a guy called Matthew Folks, who's I think he's relatively well known within the community. English guy, and actually, like, I have heard things on the internet and stuff that he's a difficult person, but actually very nice guy. Um, yeah, I didn't have a bad experience playing against him. It was a good game. He absolutely destroyed me again. He got 3 channels this time. Each channel had a red Aether attached to it, Aether Ice Vein attached to it the turn after. I think all but 1 or 2 turns he hit me with a red attack card, and a blue on his turn, not on my turn, then a red on his turn, and blue on my turn. It was worse than the first game. The game before that, he lost to Joshua Lau. And I said, do the same thing for me, please. So against Josh Lau, he was doing the same thing, except his last 3 turns, he drew all attack action red cards. So he couldn't block well, he couldn't do much. And so I think Josh just took over with, at that point, smelt blood and just finished him off. Whereas I didn't get that luck. So if he had won that game against Josh, then I probably wouldn't have to have played him. Would I have played another Icelander? I don't know. Anyways, that's how I ended the day. So 6-6. I'm thinking at this point, I think it was 2:30 p.m. I'm thinking I don't particularly want to continue playing. There's nothing to play for apart from elo and a better result, a better thumbnail for this video. So I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna go spend the rest of my weekend with my wife, who came to support or eat tapas. I don't know. She hasn't never answered that question with looking me in the eyes, honestly. So I went to visit the Sagrada Familia with her. Had some nice food. Ate way too much. And then on the Sunday I went back to watch some of the top 8 games. And that was the experience. Those are my wins and losses. Going forward, I'm probably going to take a break from Boltyn, and might move on to someone like my boy Riptide. I'm liking the look of Vincent. I mean, Kasai, when Kasai comes out, I've already built a deck. Sort of, obviously more cards are going to come out. Dash IO is also super cool. So there's a few decks I'm looking into. Arachne, not really, it's just a bit too defensive. A few decks I'm looking into that I really like the look of. Probably going to start with Riptide. I think Riptide's going to be my boy for Nats, not Nats, Road to Nationals. Yes, on Nats, Road to National season. I just think he's so cool. Maybe Kasai. I don't know. Depends. I'm probably going to end back up on Boltyn. Anyway, so more content to come. Might not be as frequent now. I just want a little break, a little cool down period. It's coming to Christmas, but let's see how it goes. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time.